Max Sterling, welcome to LarpMix. I was reading through some information online the other day and it occurred to me that not everyone knows what NPCs are. And for most of us that play Boffer style LARPs or American style LARPs and stuff, like, we have a pretty clear understanding of what an NPC is, but there's a lot of European games and games that happen in other places that they just don't have NPCs, or maybe they have NPCs but they refer to them as something different, like staff. So this video, I'm going to talk about what an NPC is, so that basically anyone has a clear understanding of it. So an NPC is a non-player or a non-playing character. They are the opposite to a PC, which is a player character. Now, your player character is basically, you know, your main characters that you would have in, say, a movie or a book or something. Your PC, you know, if you're watching the Avengers or something, this is, you know, your Iron Man, your Hulk, Thor, these type of people. The NPCs would basically be all of the other people. So they're your background noise. They're the people running on the streets. You know, they're some of the minor antagonists. They're some of the minor, protagonist in the story, but they're people that just the story isn't following them. Okay, so they're not quite as important. Now, in real life, what it is that the player characters are basically the people who are paying to play. They have their full kit on, stuff that they've bought online or made themselves. You know, they're wearing all the armor and stuff. And NPCs are generally a lower level of costuming. So these are the folks running around in tabards with hand-me-down weapons or weapons provided to them by the game. A lot of times when you NPC, you wear all black, so like a black t-shirt, black hat, black pants, and you run around in all black because it's sort of mute. It's not immersion destroying, or would say it's, you know, a little bit more immersive than people running around with like Nike shirts and blue jeans and stuff. So that's basically what an NPC is at the core of it. So NPCs are essentially anyone who's not there to play the game. Now, I know a lot of games and festivals and stuff, there are no such thing as NPCs. Everybody is basically a player character, and you just interact and course and do your thing. But at LARPs that are actually, I guess, games, more so than immersive theater where there are quests and goals and missions and objectives and modules and stuff like that, this is where the NPCs can exist, because you need people, you know, to be the antagonist. You need people to be the monsters that get crushed by the heroes, and that's, you know, NPCing. It's what it's all about. NPCs, not that you can necessarily win a LARP, but they are not meant to win. So when they go into battle and things, NPCs are essentially meant to lose and be the whipping post for the PC so that they can enjoy their adventures and their quests that they go on. So as an NPC, it's really about creating the experience for the player characters. So like I said, NPCs and staff are kind of interchangeable. Now, as an NPC, you're also going to be required to probably set up and tear down the event. So if you have to build anything, or if you're setting up, you know, treasure chest or signs out in the woods, or if you're setting up, you know, props or anything like that, that would fall onto the NPCs. Now, also a lot of the prop building and things along those lines, that would also be the NPCs. And like I said, the word NPC and staff is interchangeable in a lot of games, but you usually have sort of like your governing body, which are the people that own the LARP or facilitate the LARP, maybe the people that do all the rules, or maybe your LARP has a committee or something, and then the NPCs are really just the people that show up to do the grunt work at the event. So there could be a separation, there may not be a separation, it depends on the LARP. So not to make that confusing, but basically set up and tear down, as well as providing the overall entertainment. And like I said, NPCs can really be anything. You can be, you know, the king, you can be the barkeep, you could just be people running in the background, you could be someone that gives quests to individuals, you could just be goblins that are waiting to get smashed by, you know, the heroes. And some of these roles are speaking roles. A lot of NPCs are reoccurring in games, so they're people that the heroes or the PCs would go to seek advice on a regular basis, and a lot of them are just a one-shot, one-time thing. You know, you're playing a pack of wolves trying to attack people, so they come in and do what they got to do, and that's the end of it. and then you go back to wherever you stage from, or your plot shed, whatever you call it in your game, and you get a new assignment, and you go out and you carry that assignment. So when you're an NPC, there's a couple different ways that this is done at games. So as I mentioned, there's some games where you don't NPC at all because everybody is basically a PC or player character, but mostly when you NPC, it's shift work. And by shift work, I mean it's either you play an entire event as your player character, and then the next event you would play as, say, your non-player character work, and then you would go back to your player character the third event. So it's just a rotating cycle. Now, during an event, there can be shifts as well. You could say you play your player character for 8 hours, and then you NPC for 4 hours, and then you go back and play your player character for 8 hours, and then you go back to NPC. So it can be shift work as well. Some games do it like, say, if it's a Saturday, Sunday type of game, maybe Saturday you do your player character, Sunday you NPC. It really depends on the game that you attend, and it varies greatly. I personally prefer the alternating style where you are your player character for a full event, one event you are your non-player character, and then you go back to your player character for say the third event, and that cycle continues. I'm not a fan of the shift work because you get immersed in your character, you're playing the game, you're doing things, and then, oh hey, it's 5 o'clock, I have to go be an NPC for 4 hours. It's pretty annoying to get out of all your kit, all your gear, your costume, get into your black t-shirt and stuff, and then go roam around and do stuff, and then 4 hours later you're expected to come back, put all your crap back on, and then continue playing the game. I'm not a fan of that at all. To me, it's just easier to get all dressed up and be the character the whole weekend, whether I'm NPCing or PCing. And I know a lot of people have different thoughts on that, and there's no right or wrong thought. Everyone has their preferences, but to me it's just easier for immersion, it's easier for gameplay, and it's easier for just getting dressed and stuff to just be the same person the whole weekend if I'm NPCing than just to have the black on all weekend, than to try to have two different costumes or kits and be juggling all this stuff in my head and breaking out of character and then trying to slip back into character. To me, that's just really annoying. And of course, there are games that hire NPCs. If you're lucky enough to have a game that has enough money that they hire NPCs, or if NPCs are paid somehow, then that's incredible. That means you can come and you can probably PC as much as you want because the NPCs are hired out, or they're always run by the same staff, and that way you never have to NPC if you don't want to. I like that idea in games. To me, it would be worthwhile to pay more money to not NPC because I'm not a big fan of it. But if it's something you have to do to keep the game going, then I'm all for it. I made a video about stewardship of taking care of the camps and stuff that you do. And I mean, a game only gives you as much as you put into it. So I can't expect people to run an awesome game for me if when it's my turn to pitch in, I don't pitch in. Hopefully that's none of your mindsets, but it's very much a community, and it very much takes everyone to keep things working. If you have a game that has NPC and PC rotations, if you expect to play a good game when you are your PC character, then you better run a good game when you are NPCing characters, because if not, you may not get that reciprocal from other groups, because they may say, wow, that was a really crummy event that I went to. So the next time they have to run one, they're not really that motivated to do well. Not saying that everyone is like that, but some people have the mindset, and then that just creates a downward spiral. So the main thing about NPCing is if it's something that your game does, do it well. If your game doesn't do it, then hey, you're probably playing a different style of game, and that's cool, but now you know what an NPC is. The way I sort of look at it is, if you don't have NPCs in your game, you're probably playing a game that's something like Fortnite or something, where everybody is just a player character. Maybe a staff sets up the backdrop, you have a cool site that you play at, but everybody's just running around interacting with each other. Not necessarily in a combat mode, but everybody is playing a character that they designed and are running. If not, then you're probably playing something like Super Mario Brothers, where there are people playing Mario and Luigi and the princess, and you're stuck, running around as flowers that shoot fireballs and turtles and stuff. So that's what NPCing is. So I hope that this video was helpful. If you didn't know what NPCing was, or maybe even if you're new getting into the hobby, at least now you know two terms, PCs and NPCs. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you feel like I forgot anything, please comment below. Let's help everybody out that watches this video. Please share this video with anyone that you know. If people aren't sure what NPCing is or PCing is, let them know to come check out this video. I hope it gives a little bit better idea. And of course, as always, adventure on.